Hi, everybody. Hola, shalom, and a guten tag. We're here today with Kristin Geeslin. We are going to talk about something that is really important, and that is how you live your life, how you relate to things, how happy are you, how stressed are you, and how to basically manipulate your mood or put yourself in the kind of place where you want to be. So Kristin has created a phenomenal process on which to be able to step into that. And it's called B.E.I.S.M. So hi, Kristin, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, hi, Tiffy. Thank you so much for another chance to connect with us. So I was just listening to a news report, and people are starting to catch on to the idea of being focused on being a human being rather than a human doing. And that was one benefit of having a period of time where our lives slowed down some. So the B.E.I.S.M is really, that's what it's all about, is to be able to focus on ourselves enough that we can have some more influence, over what's going on with ourselves internally and how we choose to, engage with the world in a healthy way.
So you said that people are beginning to realize that human being rather than human what? I missed the last word.
Doing, to be a human being rather than a human doing.
Oh, okay. I like that. So basically, what that is saying is that we run around being so busy doing things that we don't have time to be who we were meant to be.
Yes, indeed. Or be at all. People end up with negative results like, health issues or emotional states where they don't feel even remotely like themselves or like they'd want to be.
So that human being thing, I think, is really interesting because that's probably what led you to come up with a B-ism, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
you know what happened though? It just happened like synchronicity because honestly, that BEISM model just sort of flashed in like as if I were writing a song or something, where creative people just are like, oh, it just came to me all at once. And although it really does have connection to my professional life and my personal spiritual journey, the way that it's constructed like that, I was only thinking about that for minutes when it flashed. It was just like, boom, here it is. And so the B is for your body, which I also include where you live, your physical environment, and how you earn your money. So it's all the basic support. In Maslow, we have that Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. So it's the bottom, it's the base. Then the E is for your emotions. The I is your intellectual life. The S is the spirit or soul journey. And the M is the mastermind. And so,
That spells B-ism. So that's what
right.
we're here to talk about. We talk about the B-ism, and you just broke down the word B-ism for each letter to kind of signify a different part of that process, which is beautiful because that's a great way to remember it.
Yes. And this is sort of like if I had to encapsulate, it's like easy mindfulness and or simple mindfulness. Mindfulness can be complicated, but at least this is simple. And so I also use this system to help people with their intuitive development because it also aligns to some extent with the clairs, the different, abilities that a person can have once they move beyond the basic senses. First thing that happened was I just started doing readings with it. Okay. I pull cards out of this baking bowl of belief and I check on how people are doing. So it's a really fast way for me to use my intuitive abilities to get what I call it now a 5-frequency wellness workup. I do the 5-frequency wellness workup. and I can see quickly, where things are going well, where things might be in transition, or where that person probably needs to pay more attention in that particular area of their life. And the cards that I use are like, have become like a language to me and to the people who use them. So I get a lot of information just by pulling out those 5 cards about what's happening with that person.
So you said that it gives you the ability to use your intuitive abilities. What's your intuitive abilities?
I call myself a 4-clair psychic, and a medium, and I do some medical mediumship as well. So the regular medium thing is being able to talk to people who've crossed over, and that they always decide who's going to come across. On this side, we don't get to decide that, but they decide the right time and place to come across to people on this side. And sometimes I am the vehicle for that, the messenger. The medical mediumship comes more out of my study of theta healing, and specifically there's one area called intuitive anatomy. So when I work with people with their beliefs, I can see kind of where different emotional things from the past, old shock or trauma, might be stuck in their body. I'll get like a vision of it. So visual. So there's clair for every sense. There's a clair. So your eyes would be like when you see things beyond the regular seeing, that's clairvoyant. So that's a word a lot of people have heard, clairvoyant. Then there's also clairaudient, which is when you hear something in a special way. There's claircognizant, which is when you just know things you have no right to know, which a lot of people do have that. They just don't know what it's called, or there's also clairsentient, which is when you feel things in your body. So those are the 4 main clairs. And then there's also clairs associated with smell and taste. And I have that a little bit, but I don't really use that professionally because it's not as well developed. But for me, like if I smell a certain smell like cigarette smoke, that's a bad omen. If I smell incense, like the Tibetan incense that I use when I practice, that's good. So I at least have that basic thing. And then the taste has only happened a couple of times sort of randomly. And I didn't really catch what was going on, but suddenly I'm tasting something that I have after I haven't eaten anything. So that one, those are sort of like the ones in the back seat. But the ones that are really strong for me are the claircognizant, the clairvoyant, clairaudient, and the clairsentient. Those are all pretty strong.
And that's what you call your intuitive knowledge, which is
intuitive abilities. Those are clairs. They're called clairs. So like in the woo world, in the psychic world, everybody knows what it's almost like clair is like a clear version of your sense, like the extra part of it, the spidey sense part of it.
Oh, so that's where the word clairvoyance comes from, like
right. Clear seeing,
visual or clear seeing.
I think more or less my strength is the way I put everything together, because I have a background in mindfulness and meditation, as well as a professional life. For 30 years, I worked in helping people in professional environments. And then now I have, I've developed these intuitive clairs. It's sort of like the way I put it together is, I think, what makes it unique and powerful and effective for people. And teaching, I can teach. I'm always empowering others. I'm always teaching as much as I can, just as we are today. Because I've never had the desire to be like, ooh, I'm the one that knows how and you don't know how. I don't want to create dependence. I've always been interested in sharing with other people as much of what I understand as possible, because then they can go out and help more people. So it's, I've always wanted to empower others. So I share as much of what I understand as clearly as I can as I'm working with people.
Right. So the BEISM that you came up with, is that a new format or a new?
Oh yeah, that's unique to me. I mean, I created that, and my intention with it, and I've done a lot of coaching with it. So I do it in one-on-one sessions, and people can learn this system for themselves. So for instance, I've worked with people that have had like chronic migraines or sleep problems or whatever. When you can use the deck that I use, which is this one right here, the Voyager Tarot. This is what I like because it's got a lot of texture and depth and it's very rich. But you could use an Oracle deck. You could use any tarot deck and ask. It's a, they call it like a reading, in the tarot world. But I don't tell. I'm not a teller when I work with people. I consult and counsel. So I like to collaborate with the person. So we're using the cards to kind of get the conversation, into a space, into some framework. And usually, even at an intuitive fair, when I've only got 15 minutes with someone, after I do those 5 cards, people will be like, wow, you've answered all my questions. And then maybe there's 1 or 2 things where they'll say, okay, there may be 1 or 2 things we want to go in a little more depth into. And so in that case, we'll pull a few more cards, or I'll just tap into spirit, or we'll talk about it more. And then, then they'll be more specific, have more specific information. When I do readings, I have 3 sets of cards actually in this bowl.
3 sets of cards, not 3 particular cards. Okay.
Right. I have 3 sets of cards in there. Yeah. I just dropped some on the floor. I wonder what they want us to know.
Pick them up so we can see. Go ahead.
Okay. That's funny. Okay. So what comes out? We get the Hermit. This is me. Okay. I'm not a social butterfly. Usually at home, I'm meditating, I'm cleaning, I'm recharging my energy batteries because, when we do energetic work, we have to really be on our game when we're working with people. Okay. So
that's definitely you. And this show is definitely about you. So that makes sense.
Okay. Then the next card, this is funny, that's face up. Some fell face up and some fell face down. Okay. Is flow. Okay, so flow, this is really what people are having to learn how to do right now. Post Rona, there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of internal changes. There's a lot of external changes. And if people have been in the practice of knowing how to be okay with change and ambiguity, they're going to be pretty good right now. But if they were in a structured environment that no longer is like that and will never be that way again, this is going to be a hard passage. So, part of what we're all really being challenged to do at this point is to learn how to flow, I think, more. Okay, let's see what else fell down there. This is so funny because I picked some cards out ahead of time because I had specific questions. Oh, and work. Okay. So this is for me. This feels like this is for me, work. Like the universe wants me to my intention is to create a deck and a book to go with the B.E.I.S.M. Because, I have a certain way that I work with it that has come out of working with people. It's as if the process itself has informed me, as I've actually used it to help people. So now the trick is to make that where I can communicate more of those details to others. And I have taught people in classes the basic B.E.I.S.M modality to use with themselves. But the next level for me is to train people who are either psychics or healers or therapists who want to have a little more spiritual dimension to their work to be able to use this system because it's practical and easy. And once somebody gets the hang of it, then that gives them a tool that they can use for themselves, anytime. And one of the things that I try to do when I work with people, or my goal is to help them shift something in consciousness. Okay, to work at the level of belief. So when I've been combining my B.E.I.S.M approach with theta healing, and theta healing is a worldwide modality that many people know, but I think it helps sometimes that's a very deep thing to start allowing somebody to get in and help you rewire your beliefs. So the B.E.I.S.M is a little more gentle and an easier starting point. And then once we're doing that and somebody can see that they're all the time having trouble with one part of the B.E.I.S.M, then we can go deeper and we can start to get in and do some rewiring around the beliefs that are causing trouble, in that one particular area. I see the B.E.I.S.M more as a place for people to come into exploring their own body, mind, spirit awareness more deeply. And that could go a lot of different directions for that person. You know, once they start to do that, then they're more apt to do other types of exploration. So sort of making like a doorway into the body mind world that is easy, manageable, sensible, practical, you know, like that. It doesn't matter what your religion or spiritual background is, you can use it. And then the other part of this B.E.I.S.M that's important to me is that, you know, as we find more and more people living on this planet, Earth, one planet, we need to learn how to share better and increase the quality of life for more people in a more gentle and loving way. But if we're constantly thinking about how different we are all the time, oh, I live in this state and I'm a Floridian and that's a Canadian and this is a this and I'm this color and so is that color, and you know, all the differences that we have, we don't think about the oneness, about one planet, one oxygen sphere, one place where we have to grow food, you know, and that's not good for the wellness for our long-term future. So I like the idea of the B.E.I.S.M because then everybody has a body, everybody has emotions, everybody has an intellect, everybody has spirit, soul, and everybody, hopefully, many people choose to cultivate some kind of a relationship with a higher power. And so that's a place where we can unify, you know, where we can be one and it's obvious that we're one, and, you know, whatever little bodysuit we're in this lifetime is not the big deal. It's what is going on inside of ourselves that really matters. Let's do a B.E.I.S.M for the collective, because I pulled some cards. Of course, I got this ergonomic because this is you and me. We're like peas in the pod, isn't it? It's really fun. It's great. We're lucky. We probably played together in another lifetime.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so let's see what for the collective. All right, so this is for the collective. Okay, I'm just going to tap into all the higher energies and say this is for the collective. Okay, B. Web. Okay, so for the benefit of your body, where you live, and how you make your money, remember you are part of a larger web. And this is your family, your local community, your world, your globe. You know, look for the other people who have shared values, and you know, these are the people you should be living near, collaborating with, creating with. So that's B. All right, now let's do E. Oh, purity. Okay, this is sometimes easier said than done. So it's really, really important not to allow your emotional reactions to run your life. We all have been conditioned by prior causes. And so whenever we have a strong emotional reaction, it's really important to check into why. Because our goal in our life is to move with skillfulness that's going to create benefit for ourselves and others. Hopefully, I'm assuming this. But if we're bounced around by emotions all the time, it's really hard to do. And also, it sucks up your energy and it's hard on your body. So just learning to be centered as much as you can in your emotional life, to honor your emotions, to accept them, to appreciate them, to commune and communicate with them, but not to wallow in or magnify them. Okay, intellect. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so we're getting, this is the Lover's card, but this also is representative to some extent of decisions and duality. Okay, making choices. So remember, your intellect can only serve you so well in making choices. Sometimes people like try to think to the answer, and that's not usually the best way. The best way is to be aware, to sense into what your body tells you, to feel with your heart, to use all of your senses, your regular senses, your spidey senses. What does your gut say about it? And then once you have the decision, let your intellect figure the plan out. But people have that backwards a lot in our culture. It's the ancient wisdom that understands that the intellect is not supposed to run the show.
So I think one of the big traps that we experience is intellectually being led by intellectuals. And I find that the more educated people are, the more they're attached to their intellect. Did you find that?
Yeah, yes, to some extent. The universe made me not know what I was doing for 4 years so I could be a reader, because I was pretty attached to knowing things. So I didn't know, I had no idea where my life was going to go for years to get me off that thing. We're on the S now. Okay.
Right.
Oh, this is really interesting. Okay, so we're getting this is the card, equilibrium card. So we've gotten two cards here. Like, this has to do with paying attention to all areas and integrity and chi. Okay, so it's like your soul journey. If you're like calm and centered, you're going to know better what you're drawn to. You're going to know what really causes your fire to light. And that's what we're supposed to be following. We're supposed to be doing the things that make us happy and contribute to others and, work for us all the way around. But if we are too pushed and pulled by outer everything, it's really hard to find that spot. And then see right here, there's the big yellow flowers in the middle. To me, that's chi. That's the life force. So we're gifted this life force for this lifetime, this personality that we currently have, this hair, these eyes, this body, this whatever, we have this one lifetime. So it's our job to be like a good shepherd to this chi force and try to honor it and offer it in the highest and best way we can. And when we do that, people's lives tend to go really well. And what is it that we can both enjoy expressing? What makes us feel alive? What makes us feel like there is value to get up in the morning, to participate, to pull it up with all the crazy stuff? If I have this one beautiful expression, I can deal with everything else. And I feel like also when we're following that, it helps guide us to not do the things that would mess that up. It increases our integrity. We're like, okay, I want to do this beautiful thing, but there's a few things over here that are going on in my life that are not that great. But I can't really nurture this beautiful thing unless I release or let go of or resolve these other things. So following that soul journey really brings us into a wholeness and integrity. And this has got balance. This equilibrium is talking, there's 4 quadrants here. So this is about balance and honoring the chi force.
And the flowers, you forgot to mention.
Oh, no, the flowers to me represent like your solar plexus. Okay. Your will, your real strong connection to your chi, to what you're meant to bring to your life, your personal life expression, and to others in this lifetime. And then higher power, this is so individual, the way people connect to spirit. Some people are nature people is when they feel connected. Some people grew up in Catholicism and Mary's on their left hand, right over here. There's some people I work with and I see Mary standing right here. It just depends on how you were raised, where you were from. So it'll be interesting to see how the cards answer what's the message for the collective. Oh, beautiful. Okay, it's reverence. The reverence and sunset. So to me, this is, it's sort of honoring, believing, honoring, connecting in a way of understanding that there is something greater than you, that life should be respected, honored. It's sort of like an extension of this card here. We're responsible for this life force inside of us. And then there's this other giant life force expressing in animals, plants, other human beings. And it's important, for us to have reverence for that life force. It's more to understand that you as an individual are part of something big. There's, you're one drop of the ocean and the whole ocean is what's going on. However this universe was designed, we were not put in individual eggs. We are meant to obviously be interacting with other human beings and to, we have pets. I have a dog that's with me all the time. I am communing with flowers, pretty much on a daily basis. these other life forces are important to me and give me value. And just the way the card speaks to me is it's important to place value on all the other alive energies, that we need to do that. Okay, if we really did that, then a lot of the destruction and negativity that we see in the world could not happen, because we wouldn't do it. People would not behave like that if they really had reverence for all the other life forces.
And I love that the cards were so profoundly in alignment with B.E.I.S.M, which is basically what I want to dedicate this time to really explore that and to really understand, because that's really something that you're devoting your near future to.
Yes, thank you, Tiffy. I really appreciate you seeing that for me and holding that space with me. And I just want to say, not only you, but other people recently are supporting me and moving this work forward. And I believe that people are born with what it takes inside of them to have self-awareness and to grow along spiritual lines and to take care of themselves and be creative, positive contributors to society. And this is just a little tool, to help them move into that more fully, day to day.
Let's pull one card and see what is standing on my shoulder.
Oh, who's near you? Who's near Tippy? Okay.
Something like that.
All right. This is so cute. Funny. Okay. So the message that's coming for you, okay, it says a tree and nuts. It says guard your nuts, stash, bury, and bank. All right, so this message for you, when we ask the deck a specific question for ourselves, it doesn't always answer the exact question that we asked. It answers what you need to know when we trust spirit. So this is, you need to take care of you, which of course is the mantra for all of us that are big givers. And this is preserve your own energy, of course, take care of your financial resources, save, don't overspend from your energy account, because, all external manifestation of resources is energy ultimately. So preserve your energy, maintain your energy, because we need you, in the game from now till departure. And that's the way I think about it, is like, if I'm going to continue to be a giver from now till checkout time, I need to be well, I need to have the willingness, I need to have the right attitude, all these things. And we know we cannot give from a place that's not reasonably full. We can't let our buckets get too low. Well, I would just say I believe in you. I believe that you can achieve the aspirations of your heart. The things that you really deeply care about are achievable and doable. And there was a card that came through at the beginning, and it was creativity. And it is our divine nature to co-create, to create and co-create. I believe in each human being's ability to transcend whatever their current circumstances are, to express themselves as a human being more fully.
So, Kristin, it's been a pleasure, as usual, really talking to you and finding and discovering things that are really, I think, the answer for humanity to resonate with each other, to just spread more positive, higher vibration as opposed to negative, lower vibration. Because if you put out hate, probably not going to get love in return for that. Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not. Nor does it feel good for yourself, honestly.
And I mean, right.
At a certain point, when you get some mastery over purifying your negative emotions, you don't want that anymore. You'll be like, as soon as you start to go to negative emotion land, you're like, ooh, I don't want that, and so you then have to take care of those.
Right, because it doesn't resonate with you. So if you really are energizing yourself on a certain level of vibration, and everybody's on a different level, when you are all of a sudden faced with a lower vibration, it won't be comfortable. won't be your comfort zone, or it may not even be able to penetrate you if your energy level is that much higher. So we're talking about raising the vibrational level of the entire planet to a higher place so that we don't have to, that the dark forces will not have that much influence into our life.
I just want to let people know that I do have a self-test that you can check yourself, that I can email you on how you're doing with your B, your E, your I, your S, and your M, how your beliefs are lined up in those areas. And I'm also offering a consultation, a B.E.I.S.M consultation at the rates that I charge when I do intuitive fairs. So you can get a feeling for what it's like and see if it's something for you, you know, without a big investment of time or money. So I'm doing the B.E.I.S.M 5-frequency wellness workup where we do like we did for the collective for you as an individual. And then also one theta healing belief upgrade. If there's anything out of alignment with the B.E.I.S.M, we can do one treatment for that. That's 30 minutes. I'm offering that for $55. And the B.E.I.S.M self-check is for free. I just need your email address. It's a Google Doc, so I get to see the report when you fill it in.
That's very generous, Kristin. And you're right. That's an amazing offer that everybody should actually take advantage of that. So in order to take advantage of that, they specifically would have to email you. And so give us your email address.
Yes, please. And I won't spam you. I don't even do send out email. I don't even do that.
And then we're not going to spam you either. So what's your email address?
Oh, to me, it's Kristin, just like my name on the screen. Geeslin, G like girl, EESLIN, number 2 @gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook. If you put in The Mindful Seer, you can message me there. And all of my contact information is available on The Mindful Seer. I'm also on LinkedIn.
Great. And also write down below on the description that all that information about you will be included.
I'd like to just offer the merit of our work together today to the benefit of all sentient beings. And may there be peace and happiness for everyone all over the world.
And ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha means love everyone as you love yourself. And before I go here, let me just show you, this is my book on Amazon. It's called Wake Up and Plan for Roses. It is about planning your life consciously, because we actually plan our life unconsciously if we don't have an active plan. So might as well make it active, might as well make it the way you like it. So if you want the book, it's Wake Up and Plan for Roses on Amazon.
Yeah, well, I know.